tuning in to Brunch with Besties podcast. I am Sherry Renee.
And I am Chanel.
And our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations. Today, we have an amazing episode for you guys. We have our guest, Rebecca, here with us today. She's going to share her story about what's been going on with her dating as we continue to talk about how to get the guy. So make sure you tune into that. But before we start, we're going to go ahead and kick it off like we always do with a toast.
All right. So I'm giving my toast to the voter registration day. It's coming up. If you are, over 18, get out there, get yourself registered to vote. It's this time because we know 45 is just doing the most and, trying to appoint and all these crazy people. So just get out there and do your research and understand politics a little more. We got to do better. I think as Black people, we've come along where it's like, well, the government don't work for me. But we see what happens when we don't do our part and our due diligence to go out and make sure that we're voting for our state elections, local elections, national elections. Just make sure you're really using that power that you have. So voter registration day is September 25th. So make sure that you're out there. I know both of our respective sororities have some things going on where there's some events leading up to voter registration day. So make sure that you are following that and being a part of that. And get yourself registered to vote, man. I know I just had to re-register myself in Wisconsin because I was registered in North Carolina. So I did go ahead and take care of that. And I voted in our last local election we had here. So make sure you're doing the same thing.
Yes, and I will definitely be out on Tuesday supporting that effort. Let's get with it. My toast goes to my brother. He's been... So it's funny because you guys are going to hear from Rebecca later, but earlier I was talking to Rebecca and she was like, wouldn't it be funny if I really made it real big, because she was like, Brian is always there for me. And she was like, and he came through for her again last night just with advice and things like that. But, in her dating life. But she was like, yeah, when I make it real big, I'm going to be like, and I want to thank, Brian. And I was like, wait a minute. I've been on the phone with you for 8 hours as you've been going through all of this drama.
Hey, you going to thank him?
You going to thank him?
Lord.
He came in for 20 minutes.
Right. Oh, no. But I will say, shout out to Brian.
But
he
but
does have the advice.
He does. He comes through with the advice for me and for my friends. So
Absolutely.
Shout out to him for that. So let's go ahead and break bread.
All right. What's been going on with me? Nothing really exciting, guys. No, I've been posting a lot. It's funny, this book, Getting the Guy, has really inspired me. And I don't know if I shared
I'm so
before.
glad you like it because I was really on the fence.
I'm really enjoying what it is and what it could be. And it's funny because I've been wanting to write a book too. And that's kind of why I'm really stuck on this, writing a dating book.
I thought you was gonna be like, no,
I'm into
I was
it.
I love Matt, but I don't know how other people. But surprisingly, everyone has been like,
they
yes.
love it. Yes, everybody has been loving this. So shout out to Matthew Hussey for that. But I will say I've been posting a lot on my personal account about dating and doing really utilizing the polls and the questions on Instagram. I love it. But people have been giving me some good feedback. And shout out to Sam over at Random Tandem. She posted something too, asking guys do they want women to shoot their shot, and she got some really good feedback. She was sending it to me too, we were going over it, and it was really interesting conversations. But from what I've been getting, that I can say that women don't want to date. They don't feel like guys are willing to date them. A lot of women our age, Black women, successful, beautiful, all that good stuff. But then it was funny because I was posting questions to guys too, and they were like, yeah, we do want to date. So there's a discrepancy somewhere. There's a disconnect between men and women. And
according to Matthew Hussey, it's communication.
It's that communication piece. Absolutely. It's so simple. Once we realize that all it is just to have a simple conversation, whether it goes to us being married 10 years or just, hey, I got this business idea, I'm just trying to talk to you. It's very simple. And I think we get ourselves so caught up in what it could be versus what it is right now. And let's just hone in on that. So that's what I've been doing, picking people's brains about dating and, lack thereof for most people, but really enjoying dating and even my own dating life, really trying to think outside the box and doing different things and going on different dates. So that's what I've been doing.
Man, what have I been doing? I'm getting ready for No Work Fridays.
Hey!
Can't wait for that. That's supposed to be lit.
Swear.
Trying to get back in the habit of studying because I have another exam to take, so I can finally get that certification.
Hey.
5 exams, y'all. 5.
She almost there, y'all.
I'm on number 5 now. So
hey, cracking.
And then I had a weird dream.
Oh no, what happened in your dream?
So, weird dream. For some reason, I was at my pastor's house and there was like a turtle on my arm, like hugging my arm. Now, number one, there's a few things wrong with this.
Yeah.
Number one, I don't like anything that moves, breathes, or crawls if it's not a human being. So there was a lot wrong with that. But the thing that really bothered me was that in the dream, I was okay with it.
Okay.
That ain't cool.
Okay.
So I woke up and I was like, can turtles even hug one's arm like their legs are short? Maybe it wasn't a turtle. Then I was like, do you know your animals? You ain't reviewed that since you was 5.
Right.
Was it not? Was it a Geico? Was it a turtle?
It probably wasn't even a turtle.
Right.
So.
It could have been anything. So then I was like, let's just look up reptiles. So then I looked it up and it was like, yes, like you need to take it slow. Somebody in your life is cold-blooded and they will deceive you. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Then I looked up turtle and it was like, yes, your spiritual awakening is coming or something like that. And you know, like you might have a slow you'll probably be making like slow progress in some area of your life or something like that. So I'm like, those are 2 totally different
and that's
things.
what I would think for the turtle, like slow being a part of it.
But then, you know, so I had called, I text Scarlett, shouts out to Scarlett, and I was like, what's going on with this? You know, and she's like, well, whatever you want it to be. And I was like,
Scarlett, she be with it though. She was ready, like, you know,
like, hey, whatever
it's
you
on
want, man. I'm gonna align with whatever you decide.
I got your back, but it's whatever you want.
Because if you choose reptile, then who being cold blooded?
On the real.
But if you choose turtle and you want to be spiritual, then that's my nigga. You know,
I got you. Either way, love that. She was totally ride or die. Like, I got you. Whatever.
Right. Whatever way you choose, I'm rolling with it. So then, you know, I was like, whatever. Then this morning, my mother randomly called me and was like, yes, like you just need to be careful and mindful about the people that you let in your life and da 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 da. And I was like, whoa. Now, number one, moms are always right.
Always.
That's number one. Number two, why you randomly calling me at 31 years old, telling me to be mindful of like people who I let in my life when I'm grown, right? But the thing about it is again, they always right. So that's what I'm on right now, just trying to dissect and figure out what's going on with that. So yes,
that's really deep.
So yeah, I'll give y'all an update.
Please do, because I'm like, who's coming into your life, child? Like, that's crazy.
Time for the tip.
All right.
So we are reading Matthew Hussey's Get the Guy. Try our free 30-day Audible trial. www.audibletrial.com/BWB. BWB is in Brunch with Besties. Check it out. Read along with us.
All of that.
Now it's time for our favorite segment.
Ooh, this tea is hot, y'all.
Alrighty, so now it's time for our favorite segment for tea time.
Whoop, whoop.
Tea time.
Yes.
So we have a special guest here with us today. She's going to share some of her background. She actually kind of just went through a recent episode with dating that she wanted to share, that we wanted her to share.
Awesome.
And to protect her identity, we're going to call her Rebecca, and her voice will be altered.
Okay, that's cool.
So, Rebecca, let's get some background on you. First, let's say hi to the listeners.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being on the show.
Yes. So, how old are you, Rebecca?
I am 31.
31. And so I know that you relocated, so you're in a different city. How has dating been?
It sucked. Having lived both in the Midwest and now another region of the country, it just, to me, this hasn't gotten better, it's gotten worse. But however, I guess the reason why I'm here is I have to admit and be accountable and admit, I guess, my decision making has gotten worse as well. I guess y'all gonna get me together. So let's go ahead and hash it out and get it over with.
There we go. We're gonna lay it all on the table. We're gonna get it out here. That's what we're doing. That's absolutely what we're doing.
So a couple things. So I know that Rebecca has read Men Don't Love Women Like You with us.
Okay.
And she also is currently reading Matthew Hussey's Get the Guy.
Okay, awesome.
Us. So so yeah, what has been your most recent experience?
Well, we'll call this why the hell did I do that?
Okay. There we go.
So this is what happened. So you want me to start from the very beginning, how this whole thing started and get you up today?
Yes.
So whatever happened. Okay. I got it. So, I'm online. I've been online dating off and on for some time. So I would say around July of last year, a gentleman hit me up on the POS. Yes, the Plenty of Fish. Mm-hmm. And he reaches out to me. He's an older gentleman, by about 15 years or so. And, we're dialoguing back and forth. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. But one day, I decided to meet up with him. We go out for a quick sushi. And that was that. We keep in contact. We meet up maybe 3 times in total. The third time, it was just something was off. Like, he was mad at me for something. And I was just like, oh, okay. Now, after the fact, I did not just come out and ask him, like, are you mad at me? Did I do something to you? I was just like, whatever. And I just erased his number and moved on with life. So that was July 2017. Now let's fast forward to about June of 2018. So exactly a year later, right? I'm stumbling around on LinkedIn. I come across this guy's profile. And against my better judgment, I actually reached out to him. So that's why this is going to be titled, Why the hell did I do that? So I reached out to him, and he pretty much immediately responded. Like within a minute or two, he's on it. Like, boom, what's up? I'm like, oh, I just want to say, hey, how you doing? He had a dog. I was like, oh, how you and your dog, little dog doing? That's cool. Just want to see how you been. And he's like, oh, yeah, I've been great, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, well, wait, you remember me? He was like, yeah, I definitely remember you. How you been? He's like, yeah, let's want to exchange numbers? Like, sure. I shoot him my number. He texts me within a couple minutes. He's like, oh, yeah. So, and then it's like he goes right in. He was like, so when we saw each other, what did you think? And I'm like, that's a weird question. I was like, oh, I thought you were cool, thought you were handsome, thought you were really nice, yada, yada, yada. He goes, I said, okay, well, what did you think about me? He sends me like the heart eye emojis, like a series of those. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I'm like, all right. And then, he's like, then he gets a little flirtatious. Like, even one point he goes on to say, like, I really want to kiss you. I'm like, really, dude? All right. So we end up jumping on the phone, have a short conversation, just catching up what's new in life. And I think somewhere between that conversation and probably the next one, I did ask, like, was you single? Like, are you single? You married? What happened? He's like, no, I'm still single. Okay. Now, going back to when we initially met, he had no problem inviting me to his where he lived at. Like, even after we were, like, exiting the restaurant, he was like, yeah, so I live 3 blocks that way, two doors down to the right. Knock on that door, that's where I live, okay? Okay, got it? I'm just like, all right. Now, when we initially met, did I ever go to his house? No, but there were several invites and I did not take them. Now, back to 2018. So, we were texting and eventually we arranged to meet up for coffee. We do. And he lived at the time lived north of me. Now he lives south of me. And I guess with traffic after work, it takes him some time to get home. So he was like, well, on my way home from work, we can go grab for coffee and, I'll come get you, go grab for coffee. We can catch up real quick. Okay, cool. So we do that. Okay. Then from there, just like the sexual advances just get stronger and stronger and stronger. Like eggplant emojis. Can I come over? Can I come over? I'm just like, no, dude. At that time I was like trying to stick to my standards, and I was just like, I'm trying to find something serious. I'm not really looking for a friends with benefit thing. I'm not really looking for that right now. If you are, just let me know. We can just, just go ahead and find that, because even though I don't want to do it, there's plenty of women who will. So I'm like, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of constant, badgering me to come over and then do this or whatever. So he was like, oh, no, I'm single, but, let's get to know each other and, trying to run through the game. He goes, well, don't you want to get to know? I thought you were looking for something serious. I thought you were looking for a relationship. I'm like, I am. He was like, well, why won't you let me come over? I'm like, because you don't need to come over for me to get to know you. Like, if you want to see me, why don't you just take me out sometime? Then he had all these excuses why he's not available on nights and weekends. Oh, I'm so tired. I thought you just want to drive. I let my dogs out. I go to the gym. oh, I'm just so tired. And on weekends, you know, I travel a lot to go to visit my friends in another city or my college buddies, and we hang out on the weekends. So I don't have a lot of time, unfortunately, on the nights and weekends. I'm like, all right. So time goes on. So now it's about a month in or so. We just have general conversation, and I, you know, try to test it out and see if he wants to come over during his lunch break. Because I actually work from home, so it's not a big deal, I guess. At least I thought. I'm like, he can come over and chill, chat real quick, and he can go and take his butt on back to work. Mistake number 2. I don't think no, mistake number 3, because I say when he was making the sexual advances, I should have just stopped talking to him then. So I would say that was mistake number 2. Mistake number 3, I let the guy come over. So he comes over and like he just goes for it. Let's just say within a matter of minutes, that man was butt naked, dick in hand. Okay, was ready to go ham. And I was just like, really? And I was so offended. Like, what kind of hoe you take me for?
Mm-hmm.
So I politely tell him, no, it ain't going down. He picks up his clothes and politely, you know, exits stage left.
Okay. Let's just say thank God that he wasn't nuts and you were safe.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't even think I talked to him for the rest of the day. And then he hit me up another, like a day after, the next day or the day after. And I was like, you know, let him know, like, you know, I didn't appreciate that. And then he was still trying to come back over. I'm like, no, I don't trust you over my house. Like, I don't trust you coming over here. Now, he was like, why? And I think he got offended by that.
Mm.
I think it was like, you know, I guess the way I said it or maybe texted to him, it kind of came across like, you know, you kind of like a perv almost. But, you know, a lot of guys don't like being called a perv, so that's one way to get a guy off to call a perv.
Mm.
So, you know, he was like, no, it's not like that. I just thought that's what you were looking for. I just thought you were, you know, was okay with that. I'm sorry, you know, whatever else. So then it's like so we met in June. We met up or reconnected in June. It's now like July. And he was like, still badgering me. So I thought a way to get him off me, I was like, you want to come over here? You want to do the nasty? You want to bump ugly? Give me some money. And he actually does it. Now, here's the deal. I'm no prostitute. However, I did that. I thought it was going to get the man off me. Now, don't get me wrong. I did want to sleep with the man, too. I did. I won't lie. I'm attracted to the guy. I definitely want to, you know, get it in and bump some ugly and do the grown-up, as they say. So I said, okay, whatever. He's going to give me the money. It was chump change. Not a lot of money. As far as I'm concerned. Not a lot of money at all. Chump change. We bump uglies. Whatever else. Mistake number 4 or 5, or we on
7,
now?
8.
Yeah. Hey, 9, 10. Just
whatever.
You know, hey,
Right.
it's okay.
It is what it is.
We're not
right?
keeping score here.
Okay, we're going to just stop counting. This thing is just riddled with mistakes, okay? So then, what else were we at? So then that happens, and then we go our separate ways. We chat every now and again. He hits me up. Still trying to come back over because, you know, I got the old knife, so he wanted to hit it again.
I can't with you.
What?
Oh, my God.
You know, I got the old knife, so he wanted to come back over. So, you know, and of course, me trying to play hard to get it, I was like, hey, give me some money. Give me some money. Give me some money. And he was like, oh, I don't have it. And he had all these excuses as to why he didn't have it. Like, oh, this broke, that broke, this happened, that happened. Yeah. So, for a while, and I think eventually I did let the man come back over again just because I actually did enjoy myself. So, we did. And then, let's see. Now, all the while, I'm feeling a little jaded, I'm a little saucy, I'm in my feelings. At the end of the day, am I really doing what I wanted to do? No. Am I getting what I really wanted out of the situation? No. So basically, I'm just slide through, you know, and then you disappear. So yeah, I'm saucy. I'm like, well, shit, I guess I am. No, but so that happens. I gotta bring it up again. Like, I see you not taking me out. I see where you at on the weekends. Like, what's going on with that? And then he's like, oh, I got a million and one excuses. You know, I'm tired from work. I got this going on. I got so much going on. I don't have the time right now. I'm like, all right. So then one Saturday, he did hit me up randomly, looking to hang out, and me trying to play, you know, like not trying to give in. I ignore him until the following Monday. So that was, I guess, his one attempt after a month. Then it goes back to, you know, back to the norm. And I think that's June, July, now into August. I think I saw him one more time in August. And I feel like, you know what, this is 3 months. I'm clearly, I don't think I'm ever going to get what I want. I don't know if I believe this whole story that you're just so busy. And if you are so busy, again, what's it got to do with me? Mm-hmm. Why am I here and compromising so much to accommodate you in your limited busy schedule? Like, what the hell am I doing? So I said, before I end things, I'm going to ask him, where's this whole thing going? And as they say, if you got to ask, you already pretty much know the question. Know the answer. So, so I threw it out there, and he just goes, I never really thought about it. I've been so busy, I just never thought about it. And all right, to me, that's a no, a nowhere. So I'm like, okay, cool. I was cool with that. At that point, I was cool with being platonic friends. Like, that's fine. I get it. Let's move on. But the whole time, I've been dating anyway. So I've been dating other guys anyway. So. And I, at the time, said, well, just continue to do what I'm doing. So I signed the one for me. But everything else will have to stop. Mm-hmm. Another point in here, I'll say another fact or another clear sign that my butt was not probably or not heeding to is, I guess, like he could come to my place, but I could never come to his. And he would say, well, I live so far. Why would you want to drive this far? Okay. So, but like I said before, when we met back a year ago, he had no problem when he invited me to his house. All of a sudden now I can no longer, step into his house or whatever. Okay. So usually that means the guy has a girlfriend and or a wife. Now the guy is divorced. I was like, he could have gotten remarried, which he said he didn't. And of course, according to my Google searches, he had not. However, I'm thinking he might have a girlfriend. But also, within my Google search, with anybody I meet online, I do my due diligence. I do a nice investigative search just to make sure people who are who they say are. So this is actually not the first time I've run into a married man online. Or not a married man, I'll say. Well, the last guy was married. This guy, I guess, is just quote-unquote involved or in a relationship. So, I didn't want to do that again. So, I did confirm the guy was divorced. However, there was no other woman in the picture. And he didn't have, or at least I thought he didn't have many social media pages outside of, say, LinkedIn. I couldn't find anything else. So, anyway, but within this Google search, I was able to find his current address. You can do the Google Maps and see the house. And so I'm thinking, like, okay, it's like in an area that's like a uptowny kind of area full of bars, but the area itself is not well kept. You can tell it's like an older area that's, I guess, they're kind of like trying to gentrify or something. So right on the same block, you can see some really nice brand new condos right next to like damn near a shack, right? So with the address, how it was listed, I couldn't tell if he lived in the nice apartment or the nice condos or the shack. So me being the naive broad I was like, well, maybe he lives in the shack, and that's why he don't want to invite me over, because he's in shack. Because the male ego is sensitive. So I'm like, all right. At this point, I'm just like, whatever, we're just going to be friends. So after that conversation, we were supposed to meet up and go to the movies the next day. I talked to him that morning. He agrees to go. He didn't give me a set time, but he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go. Let me go to the gym, run some errands. I'll get back to you. This is like 9 in the morning. Later that, it's like 1 or 2 o'clock. I hear nothing from him. So I just send him a quick text like, hey, you still going? Now, me, I'm just saying just common courtesy. If you're not going to go, just say you're not going to go. Something came up. I hear you don't even have to give me an explanation. Just say, can't make it. We'll have to reschedule. Okay, cool. He just never responded the entire day. So, of course, me being me, I had to send him some hate mail, which means some text messages talking crazy. But that's never enough. So that happened, and then it was a Saturday. So Sunday rolled around. I'm calling him, texting him. He finally responds. He was like, oh, yeah, again, 1,000,001 excuses of what's going on, so why he couldn't make it, and all this other stuff. And he was like, well, you're right. I could have said I wasn't going to make it, so I apologize. Okay, fine. So I'm not sure if Sherry told you guys, but with this whole me being or dating as much as I have, and I would say primarily most of it was online, this whole thing has taken, a toll on my self-esteem. So I'm just like, okay, not only him, but several other men I feel like have rejected me back to back to back to back. Now, granted, there has been some men that I didn't like as well. So, but it's like when the ones you want reject you, of course, it means more. It affects you. It hurts more, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Where the men I like No, I can't bag one of y'all. I can't get y'all on the second day. Like, what is going on with me? I went on this like whole self-discovery track, so I'm trying to get some feedback from folks. Like, people, be honest. Like, am I not as cute as I thought I was? Like, I thought I was well put together and smart and cultured and well traveled, fun. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not. So, of course, one of the people I ran that question by was Sherry, and Sherry says, no, you actually have a problem internally. None of your problems are external. You're an attractive woman. I think most people find you to be attractive. If they saw your pictures, that's not the reason why they turned you down, because you look like your pictures. All your pictures are recent. And I was like, yeah, but sometimes people can just look slightly different in the pictures. Or maybe, it just don't come together in person. And I guess the reason why I was saying it must be something external, because like me and the guys, we can meet, we can dialogue via text, we can have some nice witty banter, over phone calls. I get the date, or they ask me out for the little first meet and greet. But finally, when they see me, something goes south from there. So I'm like, it has to be something physical, because I'm no different in person than I am on the phone or via text or whatever. So I was like, it has to be something. So I really, I went back and even asked other men that I did work out with, like, what was their perception of me? Yeah, I think I got some feedback. Some of it was their own insecurities as well. But I'm like, okay. So I even asked this guy, hey, what's the deal? Like, I get it. Clearly, I don't think we're a match, because not only are you not interested in me, I'm not getting what I want from you in this. So we both thought we're not compatible, at least right now anyway. So I asked him some feedback, and he gives me this, generic, oh, I think you're a nice person. I think you're really cool. I think you're very passionate. Like, what kind of shit you would say to a guy? I'm like, all right, he's clearly BSing me right now. So I push a little harder, So that takes us up to, let's see, more recent. I'll speed this up to more recently. So one day he gets off work, I'm trying to, ask him for some feedback, and he's like, okay, give me a minute, I'll call you back. Knowing him, he never does. So I'm like, I got your attention, so I got to keep pressing so I can get this answer. And we can just be done and over with. Then at the end of the day, I feel like we don't know each other that well. You can't give me some long, lengthy, in-depth answer about my character or anything like that, because we don't know each other that well. But I'm looking for some quick bullet points, like, you ugly, your hairline messed up, you ain't that cute, you look dusty.
Or I was watching Lil Rel the other day, and he was like, loose boots, whatever the girl name was.
Exactly, like loose boots. Like, girl, your boots be too loose like your ankles.
Yes.
Like, are you, your hair don't quite twist like how I need it to twist. So, I don't know. So I'm going to go some quick ones. Boom, 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 boom. That's all I'm looking for. But instead of just, shooting back those quick responses, this man really goes back and forth with me over the course of 2 hours via text message, telling me all the reasons why he can't answer the question, and that he can tell me tomorrow because he ain't feeling well. I'm like, dude, I'm not looking for, just answer the question. Okay. He finally, he started ignoring me. So I said, okay, we're going to wait till tomorrow. I got up bright and early the next day, texting, hello, good morning, where my answer at? So he didn't respond fast enough for me, so I had to call. So then eventually I guess, wakes up because he calls me back angry as all get out and says, you know what, you need to be considerate. I was actually still sweet. Okay, but what is it that you want to know? And I thought, look, I'm looking for you to just tell me. He was like, look, I was not feeling well. I got a lot of stuff going on. I got people getting laid off of my job that I have to lay off, and this, that, and the other. And, I'm like, okay, everybody, that's understandable. Everybody got stress when we all work. But okay, but just give me a quick answer and I'll go. And he was like, no, if you want the answer, I'll give it to you. Now I go, wait till later after I relax and think about it. I'm like, dude, I don't need this long, lengthy answer. Just answer the question. So he's like, fine, I'll give it to you now. But why would you want somebody talking to you like this? I'm like, just give me the answer. First, he says I'm selfish because he said, well, look how you acted last night. I was telling you I got a headache. I'm stressed out. I don't feel well. And you just kept pushing because you wanted your answer when you wanted it. And I'm like, look, I already know you're a flake. You telling me you're going to call me back the next day, it's not going to happen. You do it all the time, so whatever. So, was I guess, a little sense, was I being, a little rude and disrespectful, yeah, and inconsiderate, pretty much so, but it was very, deliberate and intentional. Then he goes on to say, and You asking me for money. How do you think it makes me feel that you would ask me for some money? I'm like, well, shit, how the fuck you think it made me feel when you asked me for some ass? I thought we were even. Okay, but he still butthurt. I'm like, dude, why are you so butthurt about that? Okay. Then there was this other time, okay, this the immaturity in me that kicked in. I was like, okay, stop. I was like trying to fake seem like I had a new man, and I wanted to see how he was going to react. And I did it, and he did not give me the response I was looking for. So again, that made me mad, but that was like a month beforehand. But he brought that up as the third issue he had with me. He said, you sitting up here acting like you got a man and all this other stuff, and that's very immature. And I'm like, you're right. I don't have anything to say to that one. You're right, it's very, very immature. Very, very, very immature. So we in that, and I'm just like, you know what? Okay, fine. Clearly we're not getting anywhere. So he was like, you know what? I'm about to go do what I got to do. I may call you later. Of course, he did not. So we're going to fast forward. I sent a couple more text messages talking crazy. As leading you up to today, something in my spirit still didn't sit well. And me, I'm still on this discovery thing, like, I don't understand. What is up with me? Like, why are men coming at me sideways? Why are men not wanting to go on a second date with me? Like, what's really just going on? Because I'm like, this whole dating experience I'm having right now, none of it is making sense. None of it's making sense. So we have one more conversation. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, yeah, I'm about to go on the trip, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, oh, okay, well, have fun. Be safe, because he's going, I guess, abroad. And then something to tell me, look on Facebook again. Go on social media and do some more digging. And I did find his Facebook profile. But it's a limited profile, and mostly with just pictures of him. And so with that, I found, when you're looking at people's profiles and who comment, somebody kept hearting the pictures. It was the same girl. I said, let me Google her, or let me look her up. So I found her Facebook page, and from there I found her IG page. And y'all, nothing but little pictures of them two together, and they were recent. Broke my little heart. So me being nosy, I'm scrolling through the pictures, and I finally see the picture where they both standing in this really nice kitchen with a sold sign. So they just bought a house, I want to say, at the end of last year, about October-ish, November-ish of last year. So I'm like, oh, so that's the real reason why he didn't want to come on. Because you actually did have a girlfriend. So as I'm learning more about this girl, I'm looking at her, the very attractive girl, same age as 31. Overall, I think she's a well put together individual. So I'm just like, well, what about her? So brand. So I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to do some snooping, see how long they've been together. Now, remind you, I met this guy back in 2017 of July. Yeah. They technically they were actually already together in a relationship. She just actually lived out of state. So I guess she picked up and dropped everything from where she was to relocate to where we are now to be with this man. So, of course, what do people do, or what women do when they find crazy stuff like this? They call their friends. So I call Sherry.
And had me up all night. I got bags under my eyes,
yeah.
Jesus.
I was like, why, Sherry, why? So she had to talk me off the ledge. And, she's like, I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, because from her lifestyle perspective, nice, beautiful home. They travel, it seems like they travel a lot. I mean, wow, I'm like, that's the life I'm trying to get from the next man for me. Like, I'm trying to get this lifestyle.
But that's not the lifestyle that you want.
Oh, we gonna get there. Right, we gonna dissect all of this. Like, we gonna let you finish your story, Rebecca. We gonna get all this. Just keep laying it on the table.
Right. So Sherry goes, well, how are you, like, she said, what's so great? So she picked up a move here for this man who's cheating on her, and been doing so probably the whole time he was here. And I was like, yeah, that's true. But, like, don't get me wrong, as far as we know, she don't know she getting cheated on. So in her mind, life is great. I got this great guy. Look how well he takes care of me and provides and caters to me. And I'm just like, I still want that though. I still want a bit of, I want some of that though. I still want some of that. Like, that was supposed to be me. Now, granted, the man met this woman before he met me. So I guess there was never a chance in hell for me anyway, right? Because he was already with this woman and had made his decision. But even within all this, I'm still thinking, like, why do women like her get the guy? Why don't I get the guy? So, like, was it Matthew Hussey get the guy? Like, Matthew Hussey, where is he at? Like, I want to ask him, like, Matt, what's wrong with me? Why am I not getting the guy? But what's so great about her? Like, what's the differentiator between she and I? So I can then see if that's something I want to do, or maybe I don't want to do. But that's where I'm at today. So, me being me, all right. So, yeah, some would agree, some would disagree about reaching out to women after you figure out that you decide chick or whatever else. I actually did it. I know. I actually did it. So now, this man allegedly is traveling abroad. It's possible they could be traveling together. So neither one has responded yet. They could be ignoring me. I don't know. Maybe they don't have any reception. So it's up in the air at this point. Like I said, I told the girls, high level overview. Hey, I was being your man. My bad. If you want to talk about it, I'm here for you. If not, hey, that's that. Now, so at this point, it's done with them. Unless somebody want to call me and talk, whatever. But after it is done. It's done. It's a dead situation. However, at this point, I am at the place. I'm still angry. I still feel like, what is up with me? Because not only this situation, this has been other me. Like, I went on dates, quite a few dates, and no second dates, or just not getting the positive feedback that I yearn for from men. So what am I doing wrong? Like, what is it? So that's where I'm at today, guys.
So that's the question. What are you doing wrong?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. And it also, like I kept saying, Sherry says, I have internal work that needs to be done. And I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Because my self-esteem ain't shit right now. But I also still think, like, well, maybe it's some physical stuff as well. So, but that's what we've been going through all day.
All right. Okay. No, that was good. So first and foremost, thank you for sharing all of that and getting that on the table. So let's start there. And for me, Rebecca, thank you for being here. And I know you too, Rebecca. So let me first start by saying it's not you, boo. Like, I want to say that, like, it's not your physical appearance. There is some internal work that obviously we're going to talk about that can happen, but the external, it's not. So there's nothing wrong with the way you look. There's nothing wrong with your hair. There's nothing wrong with your boots. They're not too loose. So I do want to say that, because I think as women, we do put a lot on our external and our physical features, for the gratification of men, but there's nothing wrong with us, period. You're beautiful, you're smart, you're funny, you're outgoing, you're kind, you have a loving heart. You're just overall dope. So let me get that out in the open first and foremost before we say anything else.
I want to follow that thought with Rebecca is really all of us.
Absolutely.
You know Absolutely. What I mean? Like, certain extremes might be different, but it's Rebecca's all of us. So
she sure is. And I mean, we all have been there. We've all felt like, and we did a few episodes on not feeling good enough. We did a whole
series on not good enough.
So we've all been there, like, this person is prettier than I am, or smarter, or has a better job, or just everything. But then we have to really think, like, I'm made this way for a specific purpose and reason, and I am good enough. It's point blank period. Like, I am good enough despite everything else. And especially when it comes to, like I said, the gratification of men. Like, don't let that be your defining bar to say, okay, well, if he doesn't think I'm good enough, then I'm not. Like, nah, this little ashy raggedy tail ain't good enough. So no, don't think like that. So I wanted to start off with that first and foremost.
And not only that, but just because somebody doesn't recognize your dopeness doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm sure that we all heard about this story. One guy living somewhere for years looking for gold, went looking everywhere else, didn't realize that it was right in his water. Mm-hmm. Another man came in, saw it for what it was, recognized the value, and hey,
there it is.
Hey. Right? So it doesn't change the value of it because you don't recognize it.
Absolutely.
It's still there.
It's still there. It's still underneath it all. And we've all, listen, like Sherry just said, I mean, we are all you. And I can definitely identify with all of this. Like, I've been there. And it does like cause you to, when we did that heart activity with Lakita, that this kind of reminds me of that. Like, you have all these bruises and scars on you. And it feels like you can't get to that overall purpose and that center of your heart. But you can, like, those scars will heal. All of this will be a distant memory, soon enough, so that you don't have to keep dwelling on this. But the thing is, like, what have you learned from it? And I feel like from you sharing your story, you have picked up pieces of where you went wrong, what you could have done better. And that's what's most important when I think about it. And
I agree. I think that you definitely outlined it. Mistake number 1 through 10 or whatever.
All of it.
But the problem that I still have with your perception of it is that you still are longing or still kind of feel like you're missing out by not being with this guy and by wanting what she has. Mm-hmm. We don't want what she has. She packed up, moved her whole life, left her job, left her friends, left everything behind for a man that's cheating on her. We do not want to be her. She is not goals.
No.
If we gonna have goals, or so that the whole comparison piece is still kind of the issue that I have, right? It's just that while it is easy because you did at one point want him, you did at one point think that he was a certain type of guy, you placed a lot of value on him, but he's not high value. Mm-hmm.
And from what I was hearing from the story, to me, it didn't sound like you wanted him. Like, you really didn't. It was just like you kind of got caught up in everything that was happening. Right. You got caught up in the idea because, like, you pointed out several times, like, he wasn't really about nothing. Like, you're giving me all the excuses. Like, you really don't want it. You just wanted the idea of what he could have been.
What I've been saying to her is we didn't do a character check, right? We're not looking at his values. Mm-hmm. So while he has the other things that she wants, right? He's stable. He has a nice job. He can provide the things that she wants. He is not a good person, period.
Right. Absolutely.
He doesn't value your time. He's disrespectful.
Yeah.
The characters and the values that he...
Yeah. If he would have came in my house and got naked, that would have been the end for me. Like, you know what? That's weird. And sir, you gotta go. Like, you just not finna undress in my space. Like, that's not what you're gonna do.
So, Rebecca, let's get back to the heart exercise. Mm-hmm. The heart exercise is where you take a heart, you draw a heart, you put a line right down the center of the heart, and you put your desire. Mm-hmm. That is your heart's desire. So for you, it's to get married, be in a healthy relationship, etc. And then you draw cracks in your heart, and then you list out all the things that are keeping you from your desire. Mm-hmm. And then, if you're with someone, so when Chanel and I did this exercise, we were at an event and we shared our heart with someone else, and then that person wrote a letter to our heart. Mm-hmm. So if you were to do this exercise and share your heart with us, maybe we should say, because your question is, what am I doing wrong?
Right. So that's your desire. That's what we need to figure out.
So maybe we need to write a letter to your heart.
Okay. And I love that. So, I would, and if I'm writing to your letter, I would be like, dear, what am I doing wrong? There's nothing wrong with you as a person. You are just everything that I know you can be. I would say look deeper into what you want and be specific and intentional really about what it is that you want from a man, because that's our goal. So if it's you want this loving, healthy relationship, pray about it and be specific about exactly that. And then when you run into men who are not giving you exactly that, then you could be like, no, like, I'm not going for none of this. And I would also say, take some time. And I know, and let me just say, like, I've been single. We've all been there, and I'm still in this boat too. Like, I know what this feels like. So it's easy for me to say what you should do because I'm not exactly in your situation right now, but I've been there too. So I will say, take this time to really, like, get yourself whole, because I feel like for me, listening to the story, there is a missing piece that you're looking for something in these men that you don't have for yourself already. So whether that be, doing something like for yourself, traveling more, just feeling that, so that you don't feel like you need this extra piece. Because if you're just living your life like it's golden and going about your life, then this will be all irrelevant. Like, you would know, like, okay, well, I don't need this because I'm living my best life. I'm not going back and forth with none of these dudes. So I would say that to your heart. And I would also say just continue to be happy with who you are, and don't let anybody define your happiness or your sense of beauty or any of that, because that's going to be tough to get over that.
And I would say, dear, what am I doing wrong? You are a high value woman.
Let's start there.
Let's start there. Recognize everything that you bring. Recognize who you are. Don't ever allow someone to be able to give you value, because your value comes from your creator.
Yep.
I would say that once you understand everything that you bring and the power that you have, he is blessed when he finds you. He gives you a seed, you give him a son. He gives you a house, you make it a home, right? You have that power. You are the final touch. So he's not missing, you're missing. He needs to be trying to find you. I would also say, never compare yourself to somebody. You're incomparable. When you understand everything that you bring and everything that you are, then you wouldn't even try to see who this other girl is and what she has or what she's doing, because it's irrelevant, because you're incomparable. So it's a waste of time. I would also say that when you recognize that you're in the presence of a man who does not respect you because of your high value, just release him. It's not him. The problem isn't really all the things that he did. The problem really is just that he's not the one.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay if he's not the one. I would also say work on learning this man's character and his values, and see if there's alignment. There is no alignment. If you really wanted this man, if you didn't blow the cover and say who she was and let him know that you found her, he would still engage with you. He still would.
And he still might.
He still
even
might.
After all of this.
But because of your value, you should release him.
Exactly.
I would also say that you have a little bit of an ego. Like you want, you need, like Chanel said, there's something that's missing that you're looking to fill. Find out what that is and look at the threads and the patterns that you have developed and figure out what it is that you're searching for. Because what you'll realize is that you actually are finding it. We have to start searching for the right things. And we can do that once we understand the why.
Yeah.
Right? What is it that I'm missing? What am I trying to find? Also understand the value that you create, right? So when he's with me, or not him, when anybody is with me, I do this because that's who I am, right? It's not tied to my job. It's not tied to my education. It's just tied to me as a being. I'm so dope. I am Rebecca.
Exactly.
Okay.
With my crown, adjusting my crown.
Y'all ain't got nothing on me. You mentioned asking him where it was going and knowing that it seems like up front you knew that this was a dead end, but you kept feeling the need to try to make it work. So you guys went out a year ago. He had some sort of attitude. Y'all went y'all separate ways. You reached out to him a year later. It sounds like he was disrespectful the whole way through. And then you tried to kind of disrespect him back to kind of put him in his place. But the best way is just to release him.
To let it go.
So I would also say don't be afraid to let people go. Because when you hold on to people in your life who don't need to be there, you're not allowing room for the people who should be there to be there. So, I mean, Rebecca and I have talked about this all night.
Hey, see, I'm just catching y'all up.
I'm just catching y'all up, giving y'all a debrief.
No.
But I would also say, Rebecca, you have to really, it shouldn't be a question of your beauty. You know, like you have to start owning who you are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when a man does do you wrong, you can say, I'm a high value. You know how what Tiffany had? I'm a beautiful woman.
Listen, let him know.
Of course, a man I got proposed to however many times, or of course I'm a that's what Tiffany had. She always say, I'm a beautiful woman.
Never let a man define that or any of that. Don't let him tell you nothing about your vagina, what you look like, what your hair should look like. No, never, never, ever. For sure. So yeah, you are a high value woman. I do want to go back a little bit because you mentioned a couple times about like what's wrong with you dating, like what's the problem with dating. So let's walk through that. So when you go out with a guy, you meet him however you meet him, online, Plenty of Fish, Match.
Quick note, Matthew Hussey says that he's not a fan of online dating. He understands that it's not going away, but he says that he feels that it creates a series of first dates.
That's a good point. And this is a weird segue, but I watched Napoli Ever After. Y'all gotta watch it. Y'all seen it yet?
Nope.
But I watched it today, and that's kind of how her character is at the beginning. She's with this guy. He tells her, like, we've been together 2 years, but it feel like a long 2-year first date. Like, you're not showing me the real. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what first dates really are. So let's think about, okay, so you meet the person, Rebecca, on however you meet him, and he initiates the date, like, hey, let's go out. Or are you initiating it?
I would say more often than not, it's them.
Okay.
However, I will suggest, if I'm like, yeah, I'm not about to go back and forth with you, so I'll be like, all right, they'll may say something like, they'll say something and I'll feedback like, oh, I may disappear for a minute, and then they'll be like, oh, like I had a guy not too long ago say, oh, I hope you haven't forgotten about me, and I was like, well, I thought you forgot about me since you hadn't asked me out yet. So that's how, sometimes I'll do that. But go ahead.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that, hey, do that. Because then they know, like, you're setting that standard, like, I need you to take me out. Like, I need this to happen. That's cool. Bet. So you all go out, and he sets it up, I'm assuming, and he takes you out. So
does he set it up?
Okay, let's go back. Does he set it up and plan it?
Because usually it's like a online thing. It's like a meet and greet. So usually they'll say, so what you want to do? I'll be like, or let's go for coffee. Cool. Let's go to a local restaurant. Cool. Nothing spectacular.
Okay, so you give the suggestion, but then he takes you wherever, like, in line with whatever you said. Okay, bet.
Right.
Cool. So you all get there. So let's pretend I'm the dude and you're you. Okay. Let's see what this conversation is looking like. So, because I think the whole premise of us reading How to Get the Guy is basically it's conversational. It's how to communicate with people, regardless of if we trying to be together, if I'm trying to be your bae or not. It's just really the conversation is the meat and potatoes of all of this. So I'm a dude. Hey, Rebecca, wow, you look great. Like, what's going on? How are you? I'm glad you came. This is awesome. What do you say?
Okay. I would say, oh, thank you. It's really nice to see you. So as we proceed to sit down, I usually pick up where something we left off. So we haven't talked in a while. Ask him about his day, what's going on at work, what's going on new, piggybacking off some prior conversation. So I don't know if the guy said, oh, I went to a concert. I would be like, oh, well, how did that concert go? Well, give me the rundown. Was it good? Was it bad? And we didn't the conversation just flows from there.
Okay. So that's good. So I will say that sounds tight to me. Like, that's opening up. However, you don't want it to be like interviewee, like stale, like, oh, so how was your day? And then he tells you about my day. Like, my day was good. Like, now what? Because it's dudes be like that.
Yeah, they do.
And it's just like, do you want to follow up? Like, is there another sentence that's gonna come along? So really, and you, man, Rebecca, you are like so like interesting to talk to, and I know you can get this out of people to like get them to open up a little more and like really like be funny and be silly. And I think Matthew Hussey like really outlines that to like really show who you are. Like, even in that first interaction, like, don't try to put on this best foot forward, this is me, like I'm this pristine, like perfect type of person, but really kind of be vulnerable and open up even in that first instinct, because what's gonna happen is the dude gonna be like, all right, like I like this, or he gonna be like, I don't like it, and that's okay. Like if he don't want
you
it,
ain't for everybody,
right?
Rebecca.
You're not gonna be for everybody, and that's fine. Like then you could be like, all right, on to my next date. So I will say continue with that, but then I also want to say on the flip side of this, like don't make every date or interaction with men be like, okay, is this the one? Like, is this the dude I'm supposed to be with? Just go and have that conversation and have a good time. And if that's the point of it all, I think then you'll find that dating is not as irritating as it can be, because it can be irritating.
It's more of an adventure. The other thing that Matt suggests is that you do something beyond, or actually something instead of the movies and dinner and coffee.
He said that a lot.
One, because it's very interview-ish. And I was watching something else about Oprah and why she's such an effective interviewer. And they said because, number one, she doesn't have tables, so there's no barrier separating her from her guests. She has multiple points of contact where she touches people. So that's why people cry when they come on Oprah, because they feel like, oh my God, I know her. I can trust her. Right. And they're able to be vulnerable. So another suggestion would be to not go to dinner or to the movies or to coffee. Right. It would be trying something maybe new where both of you guys can experience some adventure and be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
It's not predictable. And then the other thing that he says is trying different types of dates. So like, let's stop doing the same thing, because there's multiple facets of you. You are multi-layered. So there needs to be times where you can show them that you're sensitive, times when you can show them that you're funny, times when you can show them like maybe a more domestic side. Like there has to be multiple layers, because you're not a cookie cutter person.
This is good.
You are Rebecca.
Right. This is good. I'm taking notes here myself. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love dating. Like, and it's crazy because I didn't used to. Like, I was like, people don't do that. Like, people our age not dating. Like, that's fine. But now it's really opened my eyes to what it can be. So a really dope date that I think that everybody should try is like an escape room. Like, those are fun. Like, you get to see like how people think. And how they kind of problem solve, which is good, because that's something that you want to know. Like, can you figure stuff out? And then it allows you all to spend time with each other, whether you do it in a group or it's just y'all two. But I think that was a date that I went on where I was just like, wow, like it showed me a different side of this person. Like, you can really think. Or, he was probably thinking like, you're dumb. Like, you didn't get any of the clues.
Or it could just be fun and or fun. Both, right? Like, absolutely. Oh man, we both lost. We suck. Whatever.
Exactly. And then you could laugh about it for sure. So it's some really dope stuff. Another guy before this took me to like rock climbing. That was fun, because I was really scared about like letting go to get back down. Like, you have to fall down to get off the rock. And I was like freaking out, and he was like, you can do it. And I was like, no, I can't. So yeah, just really looking outside of the box and thinking about what other date options there are that's going to take you out of your comfort zone, to let yourself be vulnerable.
One of the other things that he talks about is that men kind of do the same thing that we do. So when they do meet you, you're showing them who you are, right? And they're assessing your values, your character. And they are thinking like, okay, could I take her to meet my mom? Could I not? Does she fit here? And usually that first impression is how they then categorize us. So when you asked him where's this going, he was like, oh, I haven't thought about it. Clearly that was a lie now, right? Because he knew he was on Plenty of Fish with the intent of looking for somebody to cheat on his girlfriend with.
Absolutely, he was. Yeah,
but that's still not a reflection of you, because that could have been me.
It could have been me, very well. It could have been anybody.
It could have been anybody with a account in his area,
and it probably. And who's to say it wasn't some other chicks too?
It's probably a few.
Yeah,
but the point is that he knew what he was doing, and he knew what his intention was, and that's why it's important that when we are on a first date that we are assessing their character and their values, right? So great, you got a nice job, you got this, you got that, that's all cool. But you're like, if you're not a good person, that should be a turn off. And one of the other things that Matthew Hussey talks about is that attractiveness that's how it's built, through actual interactions. Right. So there's a preliminary attraction that happens when you say like, oh, he's fine. Or even just when but he talks about how it's kind of, it's a perceived beauty. Right. So there's a perceived beauty, where you have an idea, you know, so like the standard of beauty is blonde hair, blue eyes, right? But then when you actually see someone, you can acknowledge their beauty, right? Even though it's not blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yep.
So,
yeah, no, yep, that's very true. So that is definitely the first part. But then just watching them on the date to see, like, what are they doing? Like, are they looking at giving me eye contact as I'm talking to them? Like, little stuff like that. Like, are they being attentive? Are they asking, like, if I'm talking to them, are they asking, like, follow-up questions to learn more?
Right, because it sounds like this guy did you a favor, because he literally cannot give you what you need
at all. I'm glad he's out. Like, and if they respond, they respond. But if they don't, like, whatever. And if they do respond, still whatever. Like, don't keep going back and forth with them. Let's all think about Lil Duval and smile. We ain't going back and forth with nobody.
Yeah.
Like,
we living our best lives.
We living our best lives. Life is so short. And we can all attest to that. We know people who have lost their lives, and we not going back and forth with nobody.
And when you meet somebody else, you know, like Matthew Husty says, he's just gonna be a background character whose name you don't even remember
at all.
He's like cashier number 2, right? Like,
listen,
in the film of Rebecca.
In the film of Rebecca, that's a prop, and that's okay. And you can keep moving forward. And what I always think about for myself and anybody else is what you've learned from it, and you clearly can see what you've learned from it. So now from this point forward, how are you going to grow from this point? And
also I would say knowing that you're the chooser. Like, we can't go on these dates and we want to be picked.
Yep.
Because anybody can pick us.
Yeah, clearly.
Like, we got to do the picking. You know, we have to be the one to say, oh, he was nice, but no thanks.
Just not for me.
Just not for me.
And that's okay.
Yes. So back to Chanel's question, right?
Yeah.
So
what you gonna do? What's next? Rebecca?
You talking?
Okay.
You talking to me? Oh,
yes.
What's next?
Yes. So how have you learned from this, and what's next?
Oh, you know, one of the biggest things I learned are more of a reminder of how little I've grown. So like Sherry could tell you, I'm a very spiteful, vindictive individual, right? If you get me, I may try to get you back.
She the queen of the get back. Oh, Petty Betty.
I will succeed. Now, I would say, as a woman, you know, our mouths are like a lot of our women with our mouths are vicious, and that's one of my best weapons. I can get pretty ruthless at the mouth. Okay, so. Like, going back to, so the one thing I want to point out, especially to your listeners, like I said, I'm no one's prostitute. However, when asking me for sex, I feel like, oh, you want to treat me like a hoe? Well, I'm going to treat you like a trick. And that's where that stems from. So what's that right? Was I being a high value asset woman? Not at all, because why would I demean myself to this level? And even, it was interesting, I was like, I'm going to be a fuck you pay me type of bitch, right? Yeah, that shit backfired. So after it was all said and done and the money was spent, honey, I was still over here mad as hell.
Hey, but that's the reality, because that's what we see. We see so many women doing that and getting off by that. We're just like, well, you know, they doing it. Let me try to get my bags too in the meantime. But everybody, like you said, not built for that. And even the women that are doing that, they're butthurt about it too. So, you know, we put on a brave face.
I was butthurt. I still was butthurt. So I was like, hey, I thought I was a little better. And I didn't. So that's that, you know. So unless you really made for that lifestyle or whatever the case, you know, if you want those, granted, yes, I would love to have men who were just generous and finding me houses and taking me on nice trips. But I wanted to come from a place of love and just genuine desire to do those things for me, not out of some barter system. And so also, because that's kind of just stemmed, I was rooted in that vindictive nature I have, that spiteful, that get that. You get me, I'm going to get you back. But even like also when I was sending hate mail, like again, I would text some real mean things to folks, like to the point, they get pretty heat ready to press me out. And not able to talk to me again. That's how bad my mouth can be. So really just stepping away from that and just like you said, walking away. Walking away. Me and Sherry were having a conversation about being high value to some other things prior to this situation happening. So maybe a week or two ago, and I was just like, well, I guess it is being high value to walk away. You know, sometimes there is no resolution. There is no coming to some common ground. Sometimes you just have to walk away.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Not at all.
So that's one thing I learned.
Okay.
That's one thing I learned. Going forward, it took a toll on my self-esteem. I said, like, dang, what am I doing wrong? I felt within my career, education-wise, without stress, without sleep, even though I'm on here, teaching with y'all. I do all right. I'm pretty professional, I can hold my own. I just felt like, I put so much time and effort in becoming the woman I thought I was, and again, come to find out, I still have some work to do. Mm-hmm. And like on the outside, maybe I don't, need all this work, but maybe it is really more of an internal thing when it comes to my overall psyche, mental health, self-esteem, self-worth, and all of that, and really stop putting the responsibility on everybody else to validate me and make sure that I know I am whatever I think I am, and having it just come from within. Mm-hmm. So, I think what else? Again, the old people used to say, go with your first signs, right? Meaning, follow the intuition. There's one thing I neglected throughout this entire process. Like that. Oh my God.
There's nothing like that feeling in your gut when you just know.
Yeah, and I had it every time. Yeah. And it was interesting. I was talking to another good friend of ours about this situation. I was like, I did not follow my gut. She was like, well, actually, yes, she did. The reason why your ass was up Googling and doing investigative work in the hours of the morning because you knew something was wrong.
Well, they say if you have to look, you already know, right?
Ask and you shall receive, all of that. Yeah. So you go looking, you gonna find what you're looking for sure. Yeah. But I feel like another piece to this too is forgive yourself. You did what you did. It's over. It's water under the bridge. And forgive yourself and move forward from that. Because I know I've had to forgive myself plenty of times where I'm just like, man, I'm dumb. Like, why did I do this? Like, this is crazy. But then when you hold on to that, like, it's going to forever be with you. So to really be like, I need to forgive myself so I can move forward and really do that and work towards that.
Gotcha. And that's true, because I was still, like, there was a part of it, too, I was just like, there's so many facets to this whole thing. It was just, like, everything I mentioned, but right, that was a part, too. So I was like, I just feel so stupid. Like, how can I fall for this? Like, why did I do this? Like, this is dumb. And then to find out he got a whole girlfriend, as they say. He got a whole girlfriend down the street. And I'm sitting over here mad, angry, and frustrated. They somewhere on somebody's flight. Enjoying my time. Like, ain't this a bitch?
And then also just making sure that he earns your attention. You know what I mean? Because as Matthew Hussey would say, right, and when it comes to sex and things like that, if that's the chase, so men need to be validated by sex, right? And so if we give in before they've earned it, then they feel like anybody could have got it. So then there's no connection with them. And then I was sharing with Toy earlier, another individual that I was talking to, a guy, he started talking to a girl and initially felt like she was kind of like out of his league. And then went on a date with the girl at the movies, but he fell asleep by accident, just tired, working a lot of jobs and whatever. And she didn't really trip, didn't really say anything. And then now she's kind of like pursuing. And so now he's like, well, what's wrong with her? Right. Should she be done with me? Like, she's just putting up with all my mess. So in his eyes, now she is no longer a high value woman.
Because she's chasing him.
Right.
Yeah.
So she has not earned his attention. Or I'm sorry, the other way around. He has not earned her attention. Yeah. And he knows that.
Yeah, it could be real quick. Like, it could be real quick. You could be getting chased and be the chaser in like the blink of an eye. And trust me, I have been there. I know all about that. And you live and you learn. And at some point, you like, okay, I can't keep playing this broken record. Like, I have to stop and really center myself and forgive myself and figure out, if this way is not working, then obviously I need to try something else.
And just like you could have been anybody, because he's just a cheater, so he was looking for whoever was gonna bite. He also could have been anybody, because there's nothing that you told us that was really specific or unique about this guy. He legit could be anyone. Right. So I think that that's all that he represents.
Right. Any man USA.
Yes.
So yeah. All right.
All right, guys. All right. Well,
when you know better, you do better.
For sure. Ooh, ain't that the truth, man?
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I thank you all for having me. It's actually kind of therapeutic. I didn't think I would actually feel better after doing this.
Yay! Well, that's our mission.
But Rebecca, you're helping people because again, you are every woman.
Mm-hmm. Word to
no
Whitney.
shame on here.
None, for real. Because trust me, I feel like I've shared plenty. Like I've definitely had a very similar experience where I'm just trying to force people to be with me, and they don't want to. They want to do what they want to do. So do what you do.
Set them free.
Set them free. I gotta go.
And back then,
right,
didn't want me.
I know, right? Now my DMs kind of be popping. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. But it's a brand new Chanel, and it's gonna be a brand new Rebecca too.
Yes. But alrighty, Rebecca, we'll do a follow up
for sure.
Awesome. Thanks again for having me. You guys enjoy your evening.
You too. Bye. Bye.
Alrighty, awesome. So what goes in the to-go box?
Ooh, that was really good. I love that the candidness of this whole episode was great. But to go in the to-go box, I think I'm going to reiterate that, and if women are out here listening, that you you deserve whatever your heart desires, and there is nothing physically wrong with you. Never let a man define your idea of what's beautiful, your reality of what's beautiful, because you were, like Sherry Renee said, you were created in God's image. You're perfect already. There's nothing that's wrong with you physically, because what isn't the treasure for somebody, it's gonna be the world for somebody else. So never let a man define your reality of what's beautiful, no matter how cute he is.
And I'm just going to reiterate that just because you don't see my value doesn't mean that it ain't there.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a $20 bill laying on the ground next to a $100 bill and you didn't see the 100,
hey,
it don't mean it wasn't there.
That's your fault.
That's your fault.
You was blind.
You
Ray
was
Charles.
blind.
Listen, so hey, somebody gonna see it.
Yes.
So hey, yeah.
But alrighty, thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time,
peace. Thanks, guys, for listening to Brunch with Besties podcast. Be sure to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, now YouTube, and Google Play. Basically, we airware. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a review and rate us. We would so appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to find us on Twitter. Our handle is BrunchWBesties. On IG, you can find us at Brunch with Besties Podcast. And if you'd like, you can shoot us an email. Our Gmail is brunchwithbestiespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Peace.